Hello, YouTube. Another day, another pre-workout and intro workout being prepared. And I'm pretty sure it's another outfit too. Yeah, told you I'm a fucking fashionista, aren't I? But no, I think this is like, I have like one more and that's it. I really don't have that many clothes. Even for the gym, which is the only place I go to. I just rotate a few and that's it. Because I do not give a fuck. And I've given up, by the way. It's been a couple of weeks since I mentioned. It was like, oh, I need to look better because I go outside and make people. I give up. Fuck it. Even the apps, all of it. I give up. I don't have the capacity for it anymore. It's so bad out there. It's fine. I've accepted my fate. I'll just die alone with my dog or something. I don't care anymore. Fuck it. So, yeah. Watch me change my mind next time I meet someone. I'll be like, oh my God, she's my soulmate. And 3 months later, I'll be right back here being, fuck it. Because that's what I do, apparently. I like them mentally disturbed. That's a joke, by the way. I'm not. In case any of them sees it, my exes, I don't think you're mentally disturbed. You are. Anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. Today will be slightly different in that I will not be talking while training today. Because it's just too much background noise and my microphone isn't that great. I will get a new one, I promise. But for the time being, it's not all that. Also, I don't have that much to talk about. The stuff I'm going to talk about, it comes later. So what I'll do this. Then I will go to the gym. I will record a bunch of exercises, but like I said, I will not be talking in between. It's just going to be training with some music or whatever, and that's it. And then I come home and we will talk about drugs. Yay! For disclaiming purposes, these kind of drugs are legal in UK, so if you have a problem with it, suck my dick. How about that? Anyway, that's the plan. So I will talk about how long I've been taking them, my experience with them, the side effects I've had and the consequences it had and so on, what results I got, that kind of shit. So I will see you later. Okay, I'm back. So let's talk drugs. Anyway, quick rundown. Obviously we're talking. I'm gonna refer to it as gear for the duration of this video, so that it doesn't get flagged. Not that my account is big enough for it to get flagged for anything, but yeah. Anyway, I have obviously clearly started taking gear about 2 years ago. So beginning of 23 is when I started. So it's when I started with the coach, because it's when I decided, you know what, I'm gonna compete again. And to be able to be competitive within the competing, I'm going to need a lot more size. And having trained for 15 years at that point, there was absolutely no chance in hell that I was going to gain that much naturally. So not even on a long enough time horizon. If I would train for like 10 years, probably still not get that. Also, I'd be fucking 40 plus and basically dead by bodybuilding standards. So yeah, I just hopped on gear. Now, I'm not really going to talk about like the exact amounts and stuff, mainly because I don't want some kids see this and then copy this and fucking die, right? So I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to do is just say, but the only numbers I will say is to show when I started, because I see some of the numbers that guys do when they first start, you know, and when they've been training for a year or even, and it astounds me. Like, you know, some of them start on like 500-600 milligrams a week straight from a gate after training for like 6 months. It's fucking ridiculous. For reference, after 15 years of training, I started with 150. 150. It's barely enough to get me above the natural threshold. That was it. And then throughout the whole year, it didn't go above 300. So half of what some motherfuckers start on, I did a year in, and I gained 10 pounds. Because you need, like, a lot of people use it as a crutch to just compensate for shitty training, for shitty food and all of that stuff, and then it fucks them up. If you have everything dialed in, you need so little. Like, now I'm not on little, but because you need to escalate it, but it's ridiculous. So, anyway, that's like the highlight. So yeah, I started with that. I did a year to get like 10 pounds. And then the second year, again, we had to start like going blasting and everything, going higher amounts and escalate it to get the same results, because that's how that works. I guess I'm like 20 pounds up in this 2 years. I don't know for sure. I'll find out fully once I'm standing on a stage and, you know, I'm dick skin lean and have no fat on me. Then I'll realize. Then I'll see how heavy I actually am and how much I've gained in comparison to last time. So there's that. Now, one thing, like, I'm not your fucking dad. Like, I'm not your daddy. I don't tell you what to do, what not to do. If you don't want to do it, if you don't want to do it, I don't give a fuck. Kill yourself with it. I don't give a shit, right? But one thing I will say, because that could save you a lot of trouble, and that's something I did myself. When I decided I was going to go on gear, first I had my fertility checked before to make sure I'm still fertile, naturally. And two, because fertility does drop with this stuff, obviously, I had some of my kids, so to speak, frozen to make sure that, you know, the quality ones when I was 30 and then when I was a natty. So in case this does get affected, I can still, you know, use that to get someone pregnant if I want kids. I don't know if I will end up having kids or whatever, but like, just in case I do, and just in case my fertility drops, that's what I did. Like, some guys, they're blasting train and they still have kids, you know, conceived during that time. Good for them. I don't know, but you don't know which one you're going to be. So if you're going to go on gear, I don't care if you're fucking 20 and you're starting that early for some fucking reason, get it frozen. Like, even if you wholeheartedly believe you're not going to have kids, you're fucking 20. You don't know shit. Okay, 10 years time, you're going to change your mind, probably. So get it frozen. It doesn't cost much. Like, I paid 500 quid for like 6 years freezing. And then I can prolong it. You can just keep going for like 20 years or something if you want. It's nothing. Yeah, but 500 pounds is a lot of money. You're going to be spending 500 quid a month on gear and supplements and blood work and all the other stuff that comes along with it, okay? So delay it by a month and get it fucking frozen. All right? Anyway, let's talk about me. That's what we're here for, right? So yeah, that's what I did. And now let's talk about like the side effects and stuff, or effects. Like, obviously effects, gain muscle, right? You do get horny all the time, but personally, it doesn't last long. Like, I get it a bit when it kicks in, and then it kind of like waves off and it levels out, and I don't really, it's like my normal levels, maybe a little bit, like a bit more. So it's not like, it's not much. Like, when you see guys when they get super horny or like, you know, roid rage, I found out that gears a lot like, say, alcohol, for instance. Like, it just enhances what's already there. So if you're a cunt, you know, if you're suddenly like raging and you're just like being a dick to everyone, then you were already a cunt before. Like, you just brought it up a little bit higher with it, but you were already a dickhead, right? Whilst if you're like a horny bastard that just, you know, thinks nothing but pussy, then you're gonna be the worst. But if you're normal and like with those things, it's not really gonna like affect you that much. Now, physically speaking, I didn't really get that much side effects. Like, yeah, my balls shrunk a little bit, tiny in the beginning, but since then it's been fine. So that's not really a problem. I'm not really, like, my acne isn't bad at all. Like, I have almost none. In the beginning I did, but then was just one compound. But once I introduced a second one to mix it up, it just disappeared, and I haven't had any issues since. So like here and there I get some, but like it's nothing like you've seen on the internet. Some places, like, I get almost none. My hair is going. You might have noticed some of the videos, like my crown is starting to go and the hairline is conducting a strategic retreat when it shouldn't have been, because genetically speaking, I'm not supposed to have that. But, you know, it is what it is. Might fly Turkey at some point to save it. So that's going. But the one that pisses me off the most physically is for the first time in my entire life, I have hair on my back. And I am livid about it because I absolutely despise body hair on everyone. Like women in particular that I date, but like most on me too. I shave everything except legs, but that's purely because I can't be bothered. And the back because I can't reach it. I'm livid about, because my whole life I've lived with no back hair, no nothing, and it was great. And I was never gonna have them either because my dad doesn't have it either. But now, because of these, now I have it and it's pissing me off. But it's small stuff. Like in terms of like actual health, I have zero problems, none. Like I get my blood work done regularly and it's always fine. Like it's actually, at some point, my blood work got better after going on gate than I did before in some cases, which is ridiculous, but it happened. So yeah, so like health-wise, I have zero side effects. Everything's fine. Like it's still all just, let's call it cosmetical that I have, you know, is hair basically, both head and body. And that's it. I'm a bigger, thicker, I think. Well, I don't have a beard now, but when I have it, it's thicker. And then so a lot of guys get like mental issues from it, like, you know, high anxiety, that kind of stuff. Like they're on edge all the time, that kind of stuff. I don't really get that either. Again, I think it just reinforces like what's already there. So if you're already a highly anxious person, don't fucking go on gay. Definitely don't go on tren, because that thing will make you paranoid. I've never been on tren. I will during the prep. So maybe I'll change my tune then, but don't do it. It's not gonna be worth it for you. Or some guys can get like to a certain amount, and then if they go above that, the anxiety goes all over the place. They just take a certain amount, that kind of stuff. I don't have any of that. What I do, however, have, and it's like by far the most severe side effect that I have, is the emotional bit. Because your hormones just get jacked up, right? Like it's basically, you know how women act like leading up to a period or during period when they just like, because the hormones are all over the place, so they just fucking, you know, less than kind, or let's call it less than stable. Let's go with that. It's basically that, except every day for months. So you don't get 3 days and take a break. You have fucking 3 months straight of this. And it's not funny. Especially, you know, after I pin, there's like 3 or 4 hours afterwards that like it just goes here and it's all over. And like I'm emotional as shit about everything. But like in both directions. It can be like either I want to cry or I want to fucking murder someone. It's just like, you know, interchangeable almost entirely curated by what I'm listening to, basically. So if it's a sad song, I'll fucking almost cry in the gym. But if it's something angry, then I'm like, So, but again, since I'm not a dickhead, I don't have roid rage, that I just don't pick it up on people. So there's that. But that's by far the most severe one that I have. And the main thing I noticed, and it is, I mean, I always bitch about relationships and stuff, but it is kind of, it has, I wouldn't say it ruined my relationships, because at the end of the day, the responsibility is still on me, but like it has contributed to like some things breaking down for sure. Because I noticed, and I've only noticed the pattern now, like after a few times, so hopefully I'll do better next time. But when I go on a blast, meaning like, you know, you double or triple the amount that you're on a cruise, you get like 3 weeks before like it fully gets into this, fully satiates, fully gets into the system, fully kicks in, so to speak, the different, you know, to show the difference in how you feel. And it's always in that 3 to 4 week window when I do some dumb shit. Like I say something that I don't mean, or I do something that I shouldn't have. Usually it's say something I don't mean. Like, you know, I make like some kind of a rash emotional decision, like a big one in relation to the relationship that always fucks it up. And it's always in that window. So like going forward now, I'm going to be like, okay, you know, let's say that I do date someone. And let's say, you know, obviously this morning I said I give up, and I kind of do. But let's say a miracle happens and I am dating someone. I'll be like, listen, let's say I meet someone now, hypothetically, right? In 6 weeks' time, I'm going to start the prep, which is when we increase the dosages. So like about 3 to 4 weeks in that window, there is a high probability I will either say or do some dumb shit in relation to you. So, like, obviously it is my responsibility to not do that. Just like, you know, it's the woman's responsibility not to be a complete unsurfable, you know, person during the period or whatever. So this is the same. So it's hormonal. So like I'm responsible for it. So like I shouldn't be doing that. But I will say, like, if something does happen, just maybe remind me that, like, listen, this is the window that you said it would. Do you actually mean that? Or like, is it just like your hormones talking? And I can be like, okay, actually it is. So let's wait it out a week. That's my plan anyway. But it obviously that requires a very, very strong level of communication. Whether that's possible, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, so that's basically it. Like that's my experience so far. But yeah, this thing has happened 3 times in a row. So I went on 3 different blasts, right, so far. And each time I did something like that. Like the first time I broke up with someone, and then I was like, well, fuck. Then the second time around, I got into an argument with someone. And then the third time, I got like a really bad argument that we stopped talking. And then same again a third time. The last 2 were with the same woman. But, you know, still, like, and the second time I was like, there were problems there, but I didn't have the emotional control that I should have. I just said, you know what, fuck all of this. I'm out. And here we are. So hopefully the 4th time is better. Fourth time's the charm, I guess. But yeah, so that's the outline of my experience. Again, I'm not here to glorify it. Shit's not easy. Shit's heavy. I wouldn't do it if I wasn't competing. I don't get why fucking 18-year-olds jump on it. You're ruining your fucking life, basically. But hey, if you want to be Olympian, cool. Like, you might have to start early. I'm already too old for that shit. But, you know, if you're not absolutely certain, which at 18 you're probably not, yeah. Again, I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's your fucking life. So, anyway, I have one more day. I'm actually going to talk about it in the next video because I want to say, like, the end of the bulk and what comes next. But basically, you know, just in relation to the gi, I have one more day, just tomorrow, of a high dosage of the blast, and then I have a 6-week cruise where I get to take it down to like it's like less than 20% of what I'm taking now, which I do look forward to, because I look forward to having a bit of a break from all this emotional bullshit, to be a bit more stable on a mental level, and just to not have to inject myself every day, because that's also a pain, literally, and like my body parts that I inject are suffering right now. I'm starting to have some scar tissue there. So, you know, the break will be very needed, so to speak. That's all. That's my video. That's my experience with it. You know, you want to ask something, go for it in the comments or message me on Instagram, any of the sort. I am happy to help.
I might do another one like this maybe after prep, because obviously there's going to be a lot more. There's going to be new compounds, like I said, trend being one of them. It's a different thing than just when you're just pushing weight. So hopefully it doesn't ruin my fucking life. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was useful. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Have any of the questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.